thing about the red pill advice is they say,
Uh-oh. Well, you can tell by the way she prefaced that it's coming now.
that as a woman ages, her body count is so high now, and therefore we don't want a girl that's slept around with so many people. We want a young, fresh girl.
Yes, a young, fresh girl. Imagine that. Why should that be a surprise? You don't go to the grocery store looking for an aged, spoiled, bruised piece of fruit. When you purchase your milk or you purchase your meat, you look at the dates on them. Yes, those things have expiration dates. And so a fresh young girl is highly desirable. You can tell where this woman's coming from already. She hasn't reached her point yet, but her build-up, saying red pill and saying, you want a fresh young girl. Oh yeah, you know where it's going already. Let's see how it comes along.
Let me break it to you boys. The average 23-year-old girl has slept with more men than the average 53-year-old woman. Let that sink in.
Yes, we get it. We hear your message. Yep. The older ladies are upset that the older guys are looking for younger girls. And the older ladies are not above attacking the young girls. They're overly sexual. They're overly active. Wow. Faced with this reality, of course, all of us older guys should turn around and say, hey, wait a minute. I want a woman in her 50s or 60s because she's got less experience, but still more baggage and man-hating. And now, according to this, also girl-hating. Yikes.
We're living in a time, and I know this because I used to be a teacher for many years, and I couldn't believe the sexual promiscuity amongst 14, 13, 12-year-old girls, because here's what they had. They had access to Snapchat. They could send nudes of themselves to older boys or whatever it is from the age of 11, 12, nudes or whatever it is. Well, it's technically child pornography.
Yes, they start young. Yes, it's disgusting. The internet and social media and the fact that it hasn't been policed, it hasn't been controlled by parents. It's rampant, running wild. So while an older woman will probably have less social media and she'll have less nude photos and videos floating around the internet, she still doesn't have the appeal of the younger woman.
They would start so young, and they're living in an era where there's no negativity attached to sleeping around. It's seen as liberating. So by the time a girl is 23 years old, I promise you she's slept with more men than a 53-year-old woman, because a 53-year-old woman grew up in a time where she was shamed for sleeping around. There was no sexual liberation. There was a sanctity attached to sexuality.
Yes, it is child pornography. It is disgusting. It's a cultural embarrassment, the way we've gone to. These young girls have cameras and internet access, and they're unmonitored. And they put this stuff out there, not realizing that it's going to be duplicated, shared, archived. It never disappears. It's going to last forever. There should be some way to keep children, minors, from accessing this. They shouldn't be able to create this type of material, and they shouldn't be able to access this type of material.
A 22-year-old grew up in a time where Snapchat, twerking, wearing promiscuous clothes, going out, being on social media was all normalized. So if you think that, I'm going to be with a 21-year-old, she's going to have low body count. Guys, what world do you live in? What world do you live in? She is now, the average 22, 23-year-old, especially if she has Instagram, has access to more men and the availability of more men than any 50-year-old woman has ever had.
I most definitely agree with you. about the lack of shame. The lack of shame. There's no embarrassment. There's no thought to just taking a quick selfie, to snapping. It's disgusting. Yes, the things that these kids are doing, and kids at this age, it is disgusting. It is improper. And it's setting them up for a hard fall. Now, we might have 53, 63-year-old women who don't have the body count of a 24, 25-year-old. I don't doubt it. But these young girls starting in their teens, by the time they're in their early to mid-20s, they're tore up, bored out, and they're not going to be good for a long-term relationship. They can be good for hanging out with, good for partying, but yeah, I do agree with this young lady here that it's a mess. It's a mess, and it ain't making any better women. And just because a woman has youth doesn't mean she's got chastity, that she's loyal or trustworthy or clean. I mean healthy, medically clean. Yikes.
She has more validation, more likes, more comments from a man than a 50-year-old has ever had in her entire life. And you're telling me you're choosing a young woman because she's going to be less sexually promiscuous. Oh my goodness. Guys, sometimes you're so dumb it hurts my soul.
Yes, I have to say you're most likely right about that. It's a shame. I don't know what else to say. It's disgusting. You've been a teacher, you told us. And so, wow, you've probably seen a lot more than I have. Definitely those younger ages. Jeez. Yes, you're right about that. They live on validation. That's their fuel. That's their motivation. That's the only thing that drives them, is this validation of being a sexual being, of being some kind of sexual, what do you call it? Their popularity, the number of likes, the number of followers. Yep. I don't understand the part you said about them being less promiscuous, because I think everything that you've talked about so far is talking about their rampant promiscuity. So I agree with you on a lot of that, except for the last portion. And it is possible that maybe I misunderstood you.
Like, it actually hurts me because these girls are growing up on pornography. They're having threesomes by the time they're 19. And you're telling me she's going to be less promiscuous. You're so naive. So naive. You're so lucky you have me to tell you this, because honestly, I'm like a sister to you guys, because the way I'm whistleblowing these girls and you come for me and tell me like I'm crazy, but you are so lucky to have me, honestly.
You are, no doubt, going hard against the young ladies and this sexual revolution that has turned everything disgusting, topsy-turvy, crazy. I don't really know which guys you're explaining that to that don't already know that. But no doubt, if you're saying it and you've dealt with guys, you've communicated with gentlemen who are misunderstanding things the way they are, then I don't doubt that you are addressing the audience. I am just not aware of it myself.
So generally speaking, the whole age gap thing, I am never going to deny that men are attracted to fertility and youth. Absolutely, they're attracted to it. But if you want to build a connection, which the red pill advice never teaches men how to build connection and how to build emotional intimacy. But if you want to build a real connection with a woman, don't use women as status symbols.
Well, to be completely clear and honest from my point of view, we're not talking about developing these strong connections and long-term relationships. We're talking about going out, dating, having fun, short-term relationships. That's what it's about. That's what we're after. And as far as status, oh my goodness, that's maybe, no, I shouldn't say maybe. Men will use women for status, and women and girls will use men for status every day, all the time. Yep, we know that.
Don't use them as a shortcut to looking like a hot guy or looking like a successful guy. Use women as a way and a tool of somebody who allows you to completely be yourself, somebody who you can truly connect with. And in that process of connecting with a woman, you will start reconnecting with yourself.
All right, I think you've come to the end of the part that I wanted to address as far as talking about the ability and the facility of the age gap relationship. The older guy, the younger girls, and yes. Now, if you're trying to build something long-term and stable, I understand this lady's point of view. It's just that she's got to the point now where she's moving off into advocating something that's going to lead to marriage and mutual long-term connection, which is not the focus that I'm on here.